phenomenon over and over and over again. And if you're really quiet and really focused on the cemetery, because it's nightfall, you might actually see one of these apparitions. Some people describe it, basically they've been describing it the same way over and over and over again for about 100 years now. Most people, they'll describe looking out beyond the fence after the gates are locked, checking out the tombstones and the crypts, and just out of the corner of your eye you'll see this shadowy figure that starts to rise up and separate from the other shadows. And as it starts walking towards you, slowly, step by step, it starts to grow, and everything seems to get quieter and quieter and quieter until all you can hear is the beating of your own heart and the rising and falling of your chest as you breathe, and maybe those footsteps faintly echoing out of the darkness as this huge figure walks towards you. And when it's reaching out those long arms, some people try to run. They say you can't move at all. You are totally frozen in place, petrified with fear. But right before it gets to you, most people say that, oh, wait a second, that was just a shadow, my bad. False alarm. The other tombstones and shadows among the crypts, and it seems like he's walking directly towards you. With each step, it gets bigger and bigger. It seems to slow down and get quieter till all you can hear is these steps falling in the darkness of your heart as you breathe. And by the time it's gotten about 20 feet away, you can tell this is no ordinary person. It's huge, hulking, reaching out these long arms towards you. Some people try to run. You find you can't move at all. The only part of your body that even seems capable of movement. Oh my God! Oh wait, that was just a shadow. My bad. False alarm. So is the social. Chest as you breathe, and when you look up into this thing's eyes, oh, wait a second, that was just a shadow, my bad. False alarm. Oh, don't you laugh when the hearse comes by, for you may be the next to die. Widow Rondelay, she had him buried. The very next week, another little girl's body was found, and then another girl's body. By the end of the month, they found a teenager's corpse slumped over one of the tombstones with her neck snapped, the back broken, and giant footprints leading away in the mud. So instead of thinking, hey, we got the wrong guy, Renee must have been innocent after all, there's another serial killer on the loose here in Savannah with really big feet, and we've gone and murdered an innocent boy. The people of Savannah, or at least a faction of the people of Savannah, decided that Renee had come back from beyond the grave to get revenge, and so they formed another posse in secret. They went out to the Rondelay estate in the dead of night. They dug up Renee's corpse, put it in a rowboat, rowed it out across Savannah River, burned it, and buried the charred remains not far from where the Weston stands today. And they had both a priest and a witch doctor from the Amicraw tribe come out and do rites and rituals and dances over it to keep it in the ground. And it kind of sort of worked because the murder stopped. No more bodies that weren't in the cemetery were found in the cemetery for another 300 years after that, almost. But people continued to report seeing the ghost of Renee as Clay late at night out there in that cemetery, and they still report it today. And over all these years, these encounters, the reports of them, hasn't really changed much. People are still describing today what they used to describe in the early 1800s, the first time anything like this was written down. And what most people describe as being out here after dark when the gates are locked, trying to read an epitaph or take a photograph, and they say you'll feel the sensation as if you're being watched, or like the hair on the back of your neck is standing on end. And as that's happening, you'll look out over the tombstones, and just out of the corner of your eye, you'll see this shadowy figure start to rise up and separate itself from the other shadows. Slowly it'll walk towards you, inch by inch, step by step, getting bigger and bigger, and everything seems to slow down as it approaches you. Everything goes quiet, and all you can hear eventually is the beating of your own heart and these footsteps coming out of the darkness. Now when it gets to be about 10 or 15 feet away, this thing is just towering over you, and some people try to run. You find you can't move at all. The only part of you that even seems capable of movement is the rising and falling of your chest. Oh my God, there it is! Oh, wait a minute, that was just a shadow, my bad. False alarm.